enter, rejoice and come in. Today will be a joyful day. Enter, rejoice and come in.
We bid you welcome. We do not ask what you believe or expect you to think in a certain way, but only that you try to live a kindly and helpful life with the dignity proper to a human being. Welcome to all who believe that religion is wider than any sect and deeper than any set of opinions. Welcome all who find in our friendship strength and encouragement for daily living. My name is Barb Eglinton, and I am your service leader today. My pronouns are she and hers. Thank you for spending your Sunday morning with us, either here in person or online. I'd like to extend a special welcome to any visitors today, and after the service, we invite you to stay for coffee and conversation downstairs in our reception hall. This morning, we are delighted to have our younger congregants join with us for this multigen service. This is a time for us to be together in ritual and song, moving our bodies, and celebrating the joy and diversity of our community. Joys and sorrows will be shared later in the service. You may come up to the microphone and share them in person, or text your joy or sorrow to the number on page 2 in the order of service, and I will read it. If you would like your name included, please include that. Now, please take a moment to silence your cell phones, but do not turn them off. If you're comfortable, you can share that you are attending today's service. Do we have any announcements? Katie?
It's the new year. You probably cleaned out your closet, so why not take some of our stuff? We have a bunch of books for kids and adults. There's all kinds of stuff. There's radios, there's Christmas decorations, menorahs, you name it, it's probably in there. It will be in the Marge Brown room after service. It's free. Take what you want, and then we'll donate the rest.
Marie-Laurie, Social Justice. I'm sorry, I have a list. So a couple things we can do next week. Please join us next Sunday night, the 14th, whenever that is, 2 weeks, in Adams Hall to watch Four Little Girls. It's a Spike Lee documentary about the 16th Street Baptist Church bombing. That was part of what sparked the civil rights movement and caused the government to move on things. It's a really good documentary. Please join us to see that. The second one is, I've already forgotten it.
Clean out your closet.
That's to do. So I'll go straight to do. My daughters gave me for Christmas a collapsible wagon to move stuff. They're on to us. This month, please clean out your closets. We're looking for warm clothes, especially men's clothes. They're harder to get. You guys hang on to your stuff very long. Anything warm, sweatshirts, coats, pants, socks. Used socks are fine, gloves, hats. Doesn't matter if it's great looking or not great looking, things get lost and stolen when you're homeless. So please, anything warm, donate that. I've moved the red bin outside of the comfort room, stack it all up there. And the second thing is that Freedom House, one of the people we helped set up in an apartment a few years ago, Liddy, is giving back. She's bought a house with 2 flats in Detroit. It's in the Linwood-Davison area. And what she's setting the flats up so that people moving out of Freedom House have a transition space. We're helping her stock those houses. There's a long list down on the bulletin board, or give me a shout to ask what we still need. We're trying to set up 2 flats for 2 families, but we're also going to try to keep that building stocked. So we're going to use the basement for storage. As people move out and take a bed or a set of dishes, we'll have a set in the basement. So anything you have, let me know. I can do pickups, we can do car handoffs, or put it downstairs. Eventually, I'll think of the other thing you're supposed to do. Thanks.
Hi, I'm Joanna Lindsay with Social Justice. justice, and we have a deal for you. It doesn't cost you anything extra, and it helps the environment. Does everybody recognize these? And if you take them off, bring them in, we'll give them to the Ronald McDonald House. They repurpose them, and it's an income for them. So the pop-top pail will be down there, and I'm hoping that I'll have to get a bigger pail. So I have a hungry cat. Thank you.
Where is it going to be?
It's going to be right here.
Downstairs, yeah.
With the other barrels.
Okay.
Thank you. Please check our website or the weekly email blast for more announcements.
And another welcome from me. My name is Reverend Karen Madrone, and I have the pleasure of serving as the minister here at UCF. I am so glad to see your beautiful faces on this snowy day. And so one of the things I love about Michigan is that snow doesn't keep people away from Sunday services. So thank you. Our chalice lighting this morning is from Jules Jaramillo. They write, "This morning, we gather together to worship as a community of all ages. Let us take a moment to look around at those of us sharing this sacred space." Go ahead and look around at each other. Let us recognize the hearts of our whole community, from our eldest to our youngest and all the ages in between. Let us embody the beauty of this whole faith community, even when there are a few more wiggles, giggles, and chatter. Let us remind ourselves to listen carefully, calming our bodies and our minds when it's appropriate to do so, and being enthusiastic when it's appropriate to do so. We're so glad for all of our energy in this space. Let us begin by breathing peace and joy into the sacred place with 3 breaths. Let us join together in reading the affirmation of mission, which is on the inside of your order of service. We seek answers everywhere, include everyone, and live with compassion.
Good morning, everyone. I am Corey Cortez, the Religious Education Coordinator here, and my pronouns are she, her. And we have over here our Wonder Box, which has been transformed into a gift box this year, because we are exploring values that are important to us as Unitarian Universalists. And they are like gifts that our faith, gifts that our faith gives us and asks us to give to the world. So it's like a present on your birthday. So with that in mind, we are going to explore what's in our box for this month's theme, which is the gift of liberating love. And let's see what's inside. It's a stone. What could a stone have to do with liberating love? It's a good question. Well, we are going to tell a story with the help from some of my friends out there, and we are going to find out what this stone has to do with liberating love. So I would like to ask all of my young friends to come forward.
There's space for you up here.
Even if you're new here, so even if this is the first time, you can come up, join us if you want.
No pressure.
No pressure, you don't have to.
You can sit on the front rows if you want, but just so that you can be up here. Here, let me.
Awesome. Thank you. I'm definitely going to need your help with this story. Some of you may have heard this story before. Reverend Karen and I are going to tell the story of stone soup. So we will find out if you've heard of it. I'm sure you know it's a good one. If you haven't, I'm excited because we will find out what this stone has to do with liberating love.
So,
Once upon a time, don't all good stories start that way? Once upon a time, there was a small village inhabited by people who were very focused on holding on to their own belongings and did not want to share. I'm sure some of us have felt that way. They didn't like sharing their things with others, and they were always fighting with one another, especially when it came to food. Nobody wanted to be hungry, so they were all quick to hide what they had and not share. This led to many, many fights, and eventually they all began to lock their doors and windows tight and keep their provisions they had just to themselves. One day, a visitor came. They were passing through the village. He was very hungry and exhausted from his long journey. He stopped at the first house he could see and knocked on the door, hoping to get some food.
Who would like to be our villager?
You get to say a line. You get to stand up and say
Well, you just do some motions. We'll do the lines. All right, come on, villager. Knock on the door. All right. Well, stay here. Yeah. The woman, did you ask?
Okay. The woman inside cracked open the door a little and asked,
Who are you? The traveler said, I'm a traveler, and I was passing through your village. I am tired and hungry. Can I please have something to eat? Go away. We hardly have any food here, replied the woman. We need a woman here.
Annie, show us your sassy game.
Okay. It's okay. You don't have to be. Okay, I'll be the woman. All right. Go away. We hardly have any food here, replied the woman. I doubt you'll find anyone here who has food to spare, said the woman.
After she said this, the woman closed the door in the traveler's face. The traveler was not ready to give up and picked up a large stone from the ground and knocked again at the woman's door. The lady came to the door again and opened it, only halfway.
What do you want now? Asked the woman. The traveler said, Since you are poor like me, maybe you'd like to have some of my stone soup. It is delicious and fulfilling. Stone soup, you say? Laughed the woman. as she saw the stone in the traveler's hand. You can't make soup from a stone. To that the traveler replied, Yes, you can. I've done it before.
The woman didn't believe him, as she had never heard of someone making soup from stones. However, she was hungry too. So she invited him in. She lit the fire, placed a kettle of water on top, and opened the windows to let the heat out. The traveler placed the stone in the water until the water started boiling.
He took a sip of the hot liquid and said, It's almost done. But if you had just a little bit of salt and butter, it would taste so much better.
That's the broth.
Yeah, that's okay. Oh, where's the other bag in my office? Okay, we'll
It's okay.
pretend.
We can pretend.
We'll pretend. Okay. Oh yeah, we still have a little bit more. The salt. Here's some salt and here's some butter.
The woman went to her cupboard and returned with the salt and butter. As the traveler was adding them to the stone soup, the woman's husband returned home with carrots and potatoes in his hands.
There you go. Here's another carrot.
Okay, go on.
Go ahead. What are you cooking? Asked the woman's husband. Over here. Oh, wait, hold
No, wait.
Oh. Oh, here we go. Sorry.
Don't
Stone soup, replied the traveler and the woman.
replied the traveler.
The man could not believe this and thought that it was impossible to make soup out of a stone.
"It's almost finished," said the traveler, as he tasted another spoonful of the soup. "However, it would taste much better if we added carrots and potatoes to it," said the traveler.
The husband was also hungry, so he agreed to add some carrots and potatoes to the stone soup. Soon the smell of the soup drifted out of the open window and down the lane. A neighbor who usually stayed inside wandered out and followed the smell all the way to the first house. There, he heard the woman, her husband, and the traveler talking about the stone soup.
Okay. "Is the stone soup ready now?" the woman and her husband asked the traveler. "Yes, but it could be even better if we had some turnips and beans." "I have some," yelled the neighbor who was watching them from the window. "Oh, actually, no, I have leeks and cabbage." "Oh, even better," said the traveler.
The neighbor was curious to taste the soup made of stones, so he returned with the leeks and cabbage. He poured it into the pot, and the smell of the soup drifted further out into the village. Word of a traveler making soup out of a stone drew the villagers out of their houses and towards the woman's house. They all followed the smell.
"Is the stone soup ready yet?" asked the villagers when they came to the window. "Yes, but I remember having stone soup with fresh chicken and broth in the stew once," replied the traveler. "I have a chicken," said a farmer, and then ran home to get some. "I have some broth," exclaimed another villager, who ran to fetch it.
They both came and placed the items into the pot. Come and put your items into the pot.
The chicken.
Here, Andy, you can also add tomato and pepper.
Okay, tomatoes and peppers too. By this moment, the pot was packed to the brim with goodness. The traveler tried another sip of the soup.
"Perfect," he exclaimed. Then he proceeded to serve a bowl of stone soup to every villager. "It's delicious," said the villagers. Ready, villagers? It's delicious. "Where can we get this magic stone?" asked some.
The traveler shook his head and pulled out the stone from the soup. The villagers realized that it was just a normal stone, and the soup's flavor came from the ingredients that everybody brought together and not the stone itself. The traveler drank what was left of the soup and continued on with his journey. The villagers realized that when they stopped fighting and they learned to come back together and share their things with each other, they could live together in harmony. Thank you all. I appreciate it.
Thank you. All right, you guys can
But
both
you
sit
can-
down. You can have a seat or have a seat up here if you want.
You can stay up here. You can stay up here.
Either here or wherever you want. Go.
Let us celebrate by singing our hymn from the Teal hymnal. Please rise as you are able for number 1007. There's a river flowing in my soul. However, we're going to sing the word our instead of my. So there's a river flowing in our soul.
There's a river flowing in our soul. There's a river flowing in our soul. And it's telling me that I'm somebody. There's a river flowing in our soul. There's a river flowing in our heart. There's a river flowing in our heart. And it's telling me that I'm somebody. There's a river flowing in our heart. There's a river flowing in our mind. There's a river flowing in our mind. And it's telling me that I'm somebody. There's a river flowing in our mind. There's a river flowing. There's a river flowing. There's a river flowing in our soul.
Raise your hand if you've ever baked before. All right, lots of people. How about cooked before? All right. So maybe you've made cookies or cupcakes, some bread. When you baked or cooked, did you follow a recipe? Yes, a lot of people recipe. Okay. Especially when you're first getting started off, right? Cooking and learning how to bake. Some people think that love is kind of like a recipe. It takes a bunch of different things to create love. So we are going to create a recipe for love right here together. What are some things we might need in our recipe? Let's think about that. Earlier, we gave some pieces of papers out to some of you that have words on them. Okay. And I am going to give out some papers here that have pictures. So what I'm going to do is we're going to look up here at the wall, and you will see the word, and you will see the picture. And when I read the word, I would like whoever has the word to find their match with the picture. Okay? Here we go. And I must take this one out, but that's okay. We'll hold it up. We'll use it, yeah. Okay, so we are going to start with our ingredients. And these are ingredients for our very own UUCF Love Stew. So let's look at our first ingredient is kindness. So if you have the word kindness, come on up. And if you look up here, you'll see the picture. So if you have the picture of kindness, come on up here. And if you two can put your ingredients there in the bowl.
Oh my gosh, it's matching.
And they're matching. Here, pick up. I was going to say, all right. Adorable. Thank you. Next, we have a little bit of I'm sorry, right? Apologies. Sometimes we need apologies. Who has a heart? Yeah, there you go. Come on up. Put it in together. There you go. All right, what do we have next? Gentleness. Wait, whoa, wait. Hold on. All right, so gentleness. Sometimes we need a little gentleness. Would you like to try that again? No? Okay. I'll put it in. Jude, thank you for helping. Gentleness. Thank you, Aaron. All right, and friendship. We need some friendship in our love stew. Yay, Thank you. And patience. Oh, do we ever need patience? Hey, hello, let's wait. Patience. Yes, patience. Let's wait. And we'll put it in together, okay? Put it in. There you go. That was good patience. Forgiveness. Forgiveness. Who do we have? Oh, there you go.
Wait,
Yeah,
wait.
let's wait and we'll put it in together. That's the whole process here to make our stew together. Oh, that was wonderful. Communication. Let's wait until you find your match here. Yeah, there you go. Communicate with who we have. Take your time, take your time. We already got the patience in the stew, so we're good. Communication, all right. Humor, who's got humor? All right, I love it. It's a brotherly, yes, teamwork here. Humor. Humor always helps. Vulnerability. Vulnerability. Who has the picture? Oh, there we go. Sometimes we need to let our hearts be open to things. To be vulnerable, we open our hearts to each other. Confidence. And there's two pictures here because we need confidence in ourselves and confidence in each other. Oh. All right. Okay, and I know there's two of you that have a picture and a word still, and that is love. So that is what makes the love stew. So you can come up and bring the picture and the word love up, and we'll complete our love stew here. Now, this is not the only recipe for love. I'm sure that you might be able to think of other things that we could add. And, thank you. And we can also remember that we may need to adjust the amount of each ingredient every day, or even several times throughout the day. Sometimes our recipe might call for an extra cup of patience, or a heaping tablespoon of forgiveness. But with these basic ingredients, we have a pretty great recipe for love.
Thank you all for participating and bringing your willingness to experiment, play, and be silly here in community. So with all of these experiments that we've done here together, I thought I would highlight one thing that we do every Sunday that we don't actually talk about, but I think that gives some, we wanted to, like, especially with this focus on liberating love, why do we do this thing called joys and sorrows? Have you ever thought about that? Especially for people who are newer, maybe from a community that doesn't do joys and sorrows, like, what is happening here? So I thought I would share a little bit just because it ties into why do we share about love and how does love actually show up here in our community? Do you know that every Sunday, one of the ways we create our love recipe is by sharing joys and sorrows? It's something we try to do intentionally. This part of our service gives us the opportunity to share of ourselves and create the community that we want to see in the world. As Unitarian Universalists, we believe it is important that we take care of each other. That is one of our underlying beliefs, and we try to do that very well, but we don't always hit it, but that's one of the things that we try to do. We try to take care of each other. When we care for each other, our connections to each other become stronger. Sharing good times and bad times helps us to be more caring and loving people. And being caring people is one way we are UU every day, everywhere. So this part is called joys and sorrows, or some places call it joys and concerns. To be honest, I keep forgetting how it's phrased here, so please forgive me. this part of our ritual are things that have happened that make us happy, that sometimes we think of as concerns, things that we are worried about, things that may be coming up. What are some of the reasons? And this is open to everybody to speaking. Corey, could you actually, I apologize for not telling you this in advance, but could you help with our wireless mic? And just wanted to ask, what are some reasons, especially some of our younger people, to think on what are things that people might share that are good or bad news with each other? What are some of the things that we share here in community that helps us build our community? Yeah, so what are some of the reasons that somebody might share good or bad news with each other? So like a minute ago, we talked about vulnerability. What are some reasons we might share?
So that people could understand other people, like, so, yeah.
I apologize, our handheld mic, we are still working through issues with it, but I look at it as it's an opportunity to practice I'm not in charge, and that you can't always fix everything that happens in the moment, so we're just going to accept that right now it's ringing. So, would you tell us again?
Oh, so that people can understand what you're feeling or something. That might be one reason you, yeah.
Thank you. What are other reasons people might share? I see Adeline's hand.
Also, to share, you kind of need trust with the other person. I just wanted to say that.
Yeah, so we build trust with each other.
What do we say in RE about joys and sorrows? A joy shared is what? And a sorrow shared is what? Anybody remember that? I know. I'm like,
It's okay. Just say it.
A shared joy is a double joy. A shared sorrow is a half sorrow.
Yes. And at the same time, what about some of our adults who have shared in the past? Not just the thing itself, but why did you share it?
When sharing a joy, it's nice to be able to celebrate with the people that you care about. So whether you're the one sharing or you're the one listening.
I see Daryl in the back. No, use the mic. People need to hear you. Never mind that.
Must be electric today. I know I've heard a lot of people share their sorrows and their joys, and it's always good for my soul that I can share that feeling of your sadness or your joy. You know, so it helps me feel that same joy in myself. You know, so that's why. Yeah.
Sometimes, depending on the situation, you think you're the only person going through it.
Yeah.
And you may be embarrassed or ashamed, or you might have all kinds of emotions attached to it. But once you get it out there, it's like people will reach out to you and start, sharing.
I was going to say the same thing.
Yeah, sometimes it really, really helps in our lives. Sometimes we're carrying around pain or sadness, and we think we're the only ones. And sometimes I think about it like when you find an author who can write about an experience that you've had, and they write about it from this really kind of a real way, and then you realize, oh, I'm not the only one who's gone through that or have experienced that, and this person made it to the other side of whatever that crisis is, and so that gives you courage. But in a community like this, all of us being able to share, I am going through this sadness, but also a joy. We like sharing our joys with each other too. Are there any of you who've shared a joy here and also felt good about that afterwards? Yeah, I see you, Bud and Joan, and yes, that the whole community supports each other by how we listen to each other, but first by how we share with each other, how we listen to each other, and how we follow up, like I was hearing Helen saying about people coming up afterwards. And so now I'm going Barb is going to come up and lead us in our celebration of joys and sorrows.
And 3 candles for the intentions that rest in the silent sanctuary of our hearts. 1 for the joys, 1 for the sorrows, and 1 for the strength of the shared community that can support you and bring you peace.
And on a positive note,
This is offertory music, right? Yes. Or, okay. Yep. So we will now take our offering, and for the gifts which we have shared and the gifts which we ourselves are, may we be truly grateful. May we be committed to using these gifts to make a difference in the world, to increase love and justice, to decrease hate and oppression, to expand beloved community, to share and to keep sharing as long as ever we can.
love is my religion. Love is my religion. Love is my religion. And I'll take you to the temple tonight. All my days I've been searching to find out what this life is worth. Through the books and Bibles of time, I've made up my mind. I don't condemn, I don't convert. This is a calling, have you heard? Bring all the lovers to the fold, 'cause no one's gonna lose their soul. Everyone, love is my religion. 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 Hey, you can take it or leave it, and you don't have to believe it. I don't want to fight. What should we do then? Hey, let's go fly a kite. Good idea, son. There's nothing that we can't cure, and I'll keep you in my arms for sure.
So don't let nobody stop us. Free spirits have to soar. With you I share the gift.
The gift that we now know.
Love is my religion.
Everybody! My religion. Love is my religion. Love is my religion.
Love is my religion.
And you can take it or leave it.
You don't have to believe it. Well, I'm done searching now.
I found out what this life is worth. Not in the books that I find,
But by searching my mind,
I don't condemn, I don't convert.
this is the calling, have you heard? Bring all the lovers to the fold.
'Cause
No one's gonna lose their soul.
Everybody, here we go.
Love is my religion.
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 Hey,
You can take it or leave it.
You don't have to believe. I can't hear you. Hey, you can
Take it or leave it.
You don't have
One more time.
Hey, you can take it or leave it. You don't have to believe it.
And so finally, on our month of love, we are going to end this actual service here with thinking about the ways of things that might keep us from love, from experiencing love in our own lives. Perhaps there is something in your past or something that has kept you from feeling connected either to love, however that is, something with someone else or larger in the world. I was telling the other day, I was having a conversation with Katie and Corey about this wonderful podcast that I listened to. And so one of the questions that the interviewer asked the guest at the end of every interview that I thought was so profound, so I'm sharing it with you. Where do you feel love most in your life? And then, where do you think that you might be blocked from experiencing love, wherever that most love place is? Or maybe you're not aware of where that most love space could be. Perhaps there is something that you could be, maybe there's a story that you've been telling yourself that keeps you from experiencing love. Maybe there was an event in the past. Maybe there was something that, maybe there's some hurt you're carrying around that is perhaps keeping you from connecting with your own self as love or with someone else. I also think of love could be like with your pets, the nature, being in nature and being able to have moments of going, wow, this is amazing. To me, that is also a profound moment of love and feeling that love in the universe wherever we feel like it comes from. And sometimes we're blocked from feeling love even with people that we have our closest relationship with. And sometimes that can be a hindrance, and we wonder why, but we don't always really dig into that. I wonder what it is that is keeping me from experiencing that. So this year, a lot of my conversations here with folks have been about how can we focus on the love, share positive stories. That doesn't mean that things aren't needing to be worked on. It just means that we're aware of it and we're raising it up. There's this practice I did many, many years ago of at the end of the year, thinking about what are the things I did this past year that I really enjoyed, and then trying to make a habit of actually doing them. Because we forget. We go on in our lives like it's this daily practice of just ordinary things without taking time to actually do the things that bring us joy. So we're really focused on how can we lift up joy and lift up love in this community for ourselves as individuals, for this community here, and in the wider world. And so in a moment, the ushers are going to pass out some flash paper, but for you to think about before it comes to you, I'm just going to take another moment for you to think about what is something that might be keeping you from experiencing love, and are you willing to let it go? Are you willing to let go of whatever that thing is that keeps you from experiencing love in your own life and love connecting with others? And if you are willing to let it go, then you will be able to write it down on this piece of flash paper, and or we also have dissolvable paper for our young people, and so that we don't have anything to worry about. The baskets will be moving through the aisles with pens and this flash paper, so our ushers are going to go ahead and start passing this around. So this is specially treated paper that evaporates in fire, leaving no ash or residue. There is no need for concern, I promise. We also have the dissolving paper. So in one of the baskets, then there's dissolving paper if parents want to make sure that their child only uses paper that dissolves, because we have water here for that. Okay. All right, we need to do it quietly though. So I need you to take a piece of the paper and reflect on the year behind you and what keeps you from experiencing liberating love. I'll wait until the paper goes out, until everyone has some. Okay. If people could share pens or pencils, thank you. Unfortunately, we don't have enough pens or pencils for everybody, so if you'd be willing to share. As you receive your paper, if everyone could receive their paper quietly, so that people can be thinking on what they need. As you are receiving your paper, if you could go ahead and please write down a word that you're willing to let go of, something that may be keeping you from that connection to something beyond yourself and love with yourself or others. It's just a word or two, because clearly you don't have enough to write down paragraphs, but just something that may be keeping you from experiencing love that you're willing to let go of. That's part of the key part on there, that you're willing to let go of. I'm going to demonstrate how this works. The piece of paper that dissolves is super easy. All you have to do is drop your piece of paper in there, and then it will dissolve on its own. It won't dissolve immediately, but it will dissolve down into the water. This is the flash paper. And so how this works is like that. That's it. It is. It's actually magic. We got it from a magic store. So I would like us to begin by coming down from the back to the front, row by row,
And while that is happening, then Diana is going to play some meditative music for us. If we could start moving from the back and coming forward, if you would like to participate. Yeah. It's okay. You got, that's the dissolving paper, isn't it? Yeah. Don't put the dissolving paper in that one. Okay. Okay, that's the dissolving. The dissolving paper has to come over here. There you go. It's okay. Yeah, that's the small one. That's the flash paper. So you can put it up here, in the flame. In the flame. There you go. If that was a dissolving, but it's okay. I didn't realize what would be happening. Yeah. Yeah, you have to let go. It's okay. It's okay. There. Want me to do it? There we go. Whoa. No, but it's because so many has, I'm just going to drop some wax. There you go. Go ahead. Okay, we need to move on. We need to keep carrying. Thank you. No, that's the dissolving. That's the dissolving. Yes. Okay. There you go. If it's, that is the flash paper. No, oh, no, yeah. It worked. Yeah, it's gone. That's what it does. It disappears. That's it. Yeah, because it's...
I broke everything.
Yeah. You didn't break everything. Is that the flash paper? Okay, got it. okay. Your mom is right. It has to be the end. It's okay. Don't worry. I know it's kind of scary. There you go.
I'm scared.
If the past year held joy and growth for you, may that sweetness continue to bless you. If the past year held pain and bitterness, may you be relieved of those burdens and renewed for the journey ahead. Let us look to the new with hope, with curiosity about its many, many unknowns, and with faith in our strength to navigate it with grace. Please let us join together in singing number 1018 in your teal hymnal, Come and Go With Me.
Anyhow, okay. This will work. Sure. Come and go with me to that land. Come and go with me to that land. Come and go with me to that land where I'm bound, where I'm bound. Come and go with me to that land. Come and go with me to that land. Come and go with me to that land where I'm bound. There'll be freedom in that land. There'll be freedom in that land. There'll be freedom in that land where I'm bound, where I'm bound. There'll be freedom in that land. There'll be freedom in that land. There'll be freedom in that land where I'm bound. There'll be justice in that land. There'll be justice in that land. There'll be justice in that land where I'm bound, where I'm bound. There'll be justice in that land. There'll be justice in that land. There'll be justice in that land where I'm bound. There'll be singing in that land. There'll be singing in that land. There'll be singing in that land where I'm bound, where I'm bound. There'll be singing in that land. There'll be singing in that land. There'll be singing in that land where I'm bound.
Please remain standing. Today is our multi-gen traveling music day. As a reminder, that is how we end our once a month of traveling, our multi-gen service days. We go out singing and being joyful together. We are one and we are loved. That is our absolute core theological belief in universalism. We are all loved, and love is available to everybody. May love truly be our religion today and always. Amen.